Welcome, Irish fans, to this week's edition of the Jack Swarbrick Show. On this week's show, we'll talk with the young man who became the first Notre Dame men's basketball player to score 30 points and grab 10 rebounds in an ACC game in Notre Dame's win at Duke, Bonzie Colson. And we will also chat with Notre Dame's Senior Associate Athletics Director for Compliance and Policy Management, Jill Bodensteiner. But first, he is finally back from his extended, exotic vacation after the Fiesta Bowl. Here's your favorite co-host, Joe Schmidt and Jack Swarbrick.
Oh, man.
Exotic.
I wasn't even sure I was going to get introduced in that. Where the heck have you been? Our ratings have plummeted.
I've been in, obviously exotic places, doing a lot of work, charity work, just around the world doing different things.
I was co-hosting with Nolan.
He won an Emmy. The guy's he's an Emmy winner.
Yeah, well.
He's a big deal.
Somehow you have appealed to our audience. It escapes me, but
I don't know. I want to see the numbers. I want to see what our market has to say.
Our Arbitron ratings.
Yeah, let's see it.
Yeah, we'll get those pulled up for you right away. So we're going to talk, because you and I haven't had a chance to. We're going to talk a little bit about the bowl game, but do tell us from the end of that experience till now, what have you been up to?
So I spent a few days in Scottsdale after the game, kind of just decompressing and enjoying the desert winter. It's a great place, Scottsdale. So I did that, and then my older sister had her fourth child, which is pretty cool, and she's living in Chicago. So my mom flew immediately from the game in Phoenix to Chicago to see the baby. So I had the car, so I had to drive it home. So I had a nice tour of the Southwest back to Southern.
That is a fun drive. I've done that.
It's cool.
Yeah.
And you kind of hang out on the 10 freeway and see a lot of desert scenery, and you can see some things along the way. But it was a fun respite. And now I spent a few days at the beach, and then I was with my family in Chicago. Kissing a little baby and hanging out with her. She's so cute. Sophia Grace, one of four. My sister is a true Notre Dame woman, married the captain of the baseball team, and now they have 4 children at 31, and they're living the dream.
Well, she's just setting the standard for you, man.
I know, right? How do I compete with that?
You'll find a way.
She married a doctor. She's got 4 grandkids. Her mom.
I have confidence in you, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So when we were last together, we were at the Fiesta Bowl. I must say, a week that I thought sort of went as smoothly as any bowl week I participated in. I thought the Fiesta Bowl folks did a great job with the logistics. They didn't have a lot of demands on us. We were able to practice at a great facility and focus, and it was all good. The game didn't turn out obviously the way we wanted, but I've got to say, and I've said this to several people, not sure in my 8 years there's an effort I've been more proud of, or sort of more sort of emotionally engaged by than in that game. When especially on the defensive side of the ball. So pre-game, we lose Tillery and Redfield.
Yeah.
We're already down 2 corners. We're down a safety and Drew. We're so thin. And then in the course of the game, we lose 2 guys at the same position, but of course one of them being Jalen, who goes down with the most unfortunate industry possible. And despite all that, it's 28-21 in the third quarter.
Yeah.
I know you must have been really proud of the effort.
Yeah, I do want to, before answering that, I do want to reiterate that the Fiesta Bowl did an incredible job while we were down there, and I just wanted to say thank you to them and their entire staff for doing performing a world-class bowl experience for us. But yeah, no, I think it was the way that game kind of played out. It was kind of tough, but I think it demonstrated the same resilience, the same will to win, the same love for each other that we kind of tried to demonstrate all year. And you kind of hit it on the head. We lost a lot of guys. 2 guys in pregame in the week leading up, which is a bummer. And then you're already thin at positions across the board. And then you lose someone like Jalen Smith, who he not only is he a leader on our team, but he's someone who our defense is kind of, we all built it around, Jalen
Sure.
and his ability to make plays. So it kind of changes everything, especially for me, being the guy right next to him. So as soon as he went out, fortunately, I have complete confidence in his backup, and then we lose his backup, which was
it was crazy, almost immediately.
I know Tavon was in there for 3 or 4 plays, and then his shoulders hanging by a thread, and he's out. And sure enough, who is it? But the Bash brother, Jarrett Grace, comes in there and has 9 tackles. So that. I feel like that's kind of the story of the year is guys coming in with positions that Jarrett's never even played before, ever. And knows every single play on the defense, which is not, I think it's well known that the defense is not a simple entity.
Right.
Knows every play and performs extremely well.
You're in a unique position to evaluate it, but what are your thoughts on the future of the program? Where do you see it?
Well, I think we're in a great position. I think we're an ascending program. I think Coach Kelly has done a great job. If you look at the bowl games when I first got here, where we played Florida State in Orlando, we played in the national title game, and then I think that those 2 games, especially the one at the Orange Bowl for the national title, I don't know if we were across the board as set as we are now to kind of handle the wear and tear of a season, the adversity that is handed to a football team. And I mean, you look at the team this year, and we absorbed, I think it's like 20 injuries to 22 starters, which is I don't know if I've ever heard of anything like that.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And I think Coach Kelly has done a great job of, number one, developing the players he has, putting together a world-class staff, I think one of the best in the country, if not the best in the country, and then recruiting guys that can play early, and are ready to come in when their time has come. So I love the future of the program, where we're looking. I think the guys that are going to be here next year, we've got some excellent leaders. We've got some fascinating competitions that I'm really looking forward to being a fan of, and I think kind of seeing how the defense evolves with a lot of guys leaving will be interesting. So all in all, I'm really excited about the future, and I'm kind of anticipating our first game against Texas already. So I can see how it all comes together.
Yeah, you'll be sending the AD letters complaining about something. I can see it happening.
I know.
We touched on it a minute ago, but I want to come back to it. And that is, I think for all of us, the dominant emotion coming out of Phoenix related to Jalen.
Yeah.
And the emotion we all felt around that injury because of the guy he is and the player he is. But I'm sure you share my belief that there's no one better suited to sort of come all the way back.
No.
Both by terms of his gene pool, which is pretty darn amazing.
I know.
But his absolute dedication and focus, and I'm sure you share my view, have every confidence in that.
Yeah, and I mean, really, Jalen. What makes Jalen so special is that, yes, his genetic makeup is superior to pretty much everyone I've met with it relates to being a football player.
Right.
But I can't tell you how many times in the training room, an hour and a half before practice, the only guys in there are Jalen and I, and we're in the cold plunge, we're talking, and granted Jalen might be eating Dairy Queen chicken nuggets, but he's in there getting his body right, getting everything together and preparing for practice. So you see the little things like that in the grand scheme of the season and really the 3 years that we were together. And I'm completely confident that he's going to come back, make a full recovery, and be an excellent player in the NFL. But it doesn't change the fact that I was absolutely crushed that Jalen wasn't able to finish his career the way he wanted. I was looking forward to, and we had talked, about that last game together and finishing it out the right way, and it was disappointing and really upsetting for me that's how it had ended for him, I guess I'm looking forward to being a Jalen Smith NFL fan.
Absolutely, as we all are. Game carried its own emotion for you because you move on to other things now.
Yeah.
And I know that must have been a strange dynamic, both leading up to the game and afterwards.
Yeah, so I think it's strange because all I ever wanted to do as a kid, as it relates to athletics, was to play football at Notre Dame and to do everything I could to win a national title here. So as that, it's a dream and a goal that kind of has lasted for 17, 18 years since I wrote them down on a piece of paper with my dad at 5, and now having built my entire life around trying to excel at that goal, along with other things, obviously, it's so strange to have completed that goal and to move on to other things. But it's also so exciting in that, like, now I have the whole world, I feel like, that I can look at and really sit back down at the table and take the crown and decide what else I want to do with my life. And I think that's so fun. And, I'm not taking anything away from, pursuing a dream in the NFL, but it just was never my dream. And my dream was always to be here, be a part of this university, and then, go out into the world and try to make a positive impact.
And now, apparently, you're wiping out a significant portion of the nation's wealth.
Yeah.
There's a coincidence. There's a timing coincidence between what you're doing now and what's going on in the economic fortunes of the United States. Tell us what you're up to.
I'm not going to say that I have a direct relationship between the stock market going way down and starting work at the Notre Dame investment office. But it is peculiar how it worked out. So right now with my time, I'm taking a few classes. One of them being a global portfolio management class in the business school, and then I'm also working in the Notre Dame investment office. And for those of you, the listeners that might not know, that's basically where they manage Notre Dame's $10.4 billion endowment. So I'm in there, obviously making all the key decisions and influencing policy and just tanking everything. So I think this my stint there might be short lived, but I'm having a great time right now. I'm just messing around on.
That's a great group of people.
Yeah.
A great office. I know you're learning a ton, and the good news is you get to continue to do this till the season's over, right? So,
I know. Good news for me. Maybe bad news for.
Great news for our watchers and listeners. So we're thrilled to have you back.
Yeah.
And I look forward to the weeks ahead, man.
I can't wait. Thanks for letting me stay on.
All right, we'll be back in a minute.